Steve, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. How you doing?
Yeah, very, very good. Look, Arsenal have really done the business after a bad week last week. Just two very... I was about to use the word boring. It's not boring. No drama games at home to just see us into the international break and capitalising on Tottenham's defeat.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good sort of string of results from us the last couple of games. I was content with, I think, the performance today. I didn't think that we were fantastic, but I thought we controlled it well. Mm-hmm. I think the point that the previous caller made about the defence, I think this might be the best defence we've potentially had since the sort of early 2000s in terms of they just don't give teams chances. And I think that it gives the forward line so much more confidence to think that, okay, we know that if we're not, perhaps it's not clicking, we're not creating chances, we know that the sort of back 5-6 players are covering us in that moment, which is, yeah, great to see.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts because I was actually just having a look as well for some Arteta quotes on it. I think if Kaya Kainak's saying that Arteta's accepted the red card and said VAR was right. What did you
said that?
Yeah, what did you? That's coming from Kaya Kainak, but I'm looking for more quotes as well to see what else he said about it. What do you think of the VAR red? Sorry.
I think that it's harsh in the moment, although I do think that it probably is just about. My biggest frustration with it, though, is more about it feels like, particularly with referees, the precedent of decisions seems to fall against us more often than against other teams. For example, if we look at the Udogie tackle against Chelsea, the two-footed challenge where he got a yellow, for me, that's significantly worse than what Vieira just did today, and yet he gets a yellow. I know he eventually gets the sending off. And I just think that it's a red, but I'd like it to be not always us that the example gets made out of, because I think I think you've mentioned it a few times, the lack of consistency.
I think that is fair, because Michael Oliver is the referee in today's game, in the Tottenham-Chelsea game, I believe. I'm pretty sure he was. I double checked, but I'm pretty sure he was. And then the Arsenal-Man City game. And what I think's crazy is, it goes back to that intent thing. I know I sound like a broken record, but Kovacic high down the back of Ødegaard's ankle from behind. High and from behind is like, you cannot do that. You just can't do that. Survives and then also survives the next tackle. Udogie two-footed. You can't do that. Survives that. And Vieira, which for me, it is a red, but it's like the least red of all three. Yeah. And he goes off. So I know what you mean. There is this feeling of like, why is the example? Like I agree with you. Like I agree that should be a red, but why are we the example? And I think you got a point there.
I beg to differ. Sorry, mate.
I know. I think you disagree
you're
with
right to. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. You're right to say about consistency, because that's been an ongoing theme throughout. So absolutely, I agree with you on that. But this whole notion that we're being disproportionately punished, I don't agree with that.
I didn't say that. Who said that?
No, the caller did. The caller did. He said that.
Sometimes. Okay, sorry.
And I can give you two quick examples. Havertz last week, he should have gone.
Yeah.
That's a straight red.
Agreed.
Right? And he stayed on the pitch. Eddie, a couple of weeks, and anybody who knows me knows I'm an advocate for Eddie. Mm-hmm. When he played Tottenham, I think it was, that was a straight red.
Yeah, I agree, that was a red too.
So I guess what I'm saying is, we could sit here and argue that Arsenal have been adversely affected, but every club in the Premier League will tell you the similar things. I've spoken to fans from right across the broad spectrum of the Premier League, and they all say, VAR, a couple of weeks ago, we didn't get this, we didn't get that. It's happening to everybody. It's not just Arsenal.
But hold on. I get why it sounds like we're saying... Jump in if I'm wrong here, Steve. But I know why the way we've said or I've said it. It sounds like we're saying it's an agenda thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on a few occasions it's felt like we have been the example for the letter of the law, not on purpose, just by chance. Where in the past others that should have been better examples haven't been. I'll give you another one, Nicolas Pepe. I know this is going back a few years now, but when he got sent off for leaning into Alioski, and I always go back to that example, everyone always said, yeah, because you can't do that. You cannot lean with your head. It's classified a headbutt, and we're stamping that out completely. And I agreed with the red, and I got onto Pepe for it. I thought it was stupid. But then I see Bruno Guimaraes this, Romero kick out, and look, Were they career-ending, offences? No, like they weren't. Jorginho played on. The player Romero kicked was fine, but you're not allowed to do it. But what of the three that I've just mentioned is the least red, offensive, dangerous of the three? 100% the Pepe one. And I do just think that there have been a few occasions where I'm biased, so I'm looking at it from an Arsenal fan's perspective. I thought Man United could argue. Why are we the example with the shirt pull one? Why are we the example with the ball going off the pitch with Rashford? So they would argue it from their perspective that way. But all it comes down to is consistency. I don't believe in an agenda or anything like that. I really don't. I don't think
No, it's just that the caller said it seems like Arsenal...
Go on, sorry, I've been arguing for you.
You did say that, right? You said it seems like Arsenal always get... So you were implying heavily that we're disproportionately affected by refereeing decisions. And I just don't believe that to be the case, because I think we've been lucky as well at times. And listen, I'm not saying the standard of refereeing is what it should be, and I do accept your argument about consistency, but where I disagree with you and some of the other Arsenal fan base, and even the statement that Arsenal, I'm not happy with that. I think we should be just focusing on what we need to focus on, because everyone in the Premier League can point to decisions and say, look, we should have got this, we should have got that, we didn't get it, you're picking on us. That's how I feel.
No, that I agree with you on. Like, I don't feel that Arsenal are disproportionately targeted compared to, say, the other top six sides, because I don't think that's true. I think that anyone that tries to suggest there's an agenda against us, I think is looking for something that, to be honest, I don't think is there. I think the fact that we've got through the game fairly comfortably, even with 10 men, I think means that it's not really worth dwelling on for a prolonged period of time. I think that's the long and short of it, really. I'd like it if just there was more consistency across the board. I
understand why you felt that way. That's all I'm trying to say. That's why when you made that point, I wanted to build on that, because I do agree. It's felt like, really? But when you look at that and that, listen, people say it the other way. Just very quickly, sorry, your man of the match, Zinni was one of them. Trossard, who'd you give it to?
I think for me, it's got to be Saliba. I think Zinchenko was fantastic today, and Trossard obviously, but you saw when he was out of the side for a period of time, just the lack of security at the back that there was. And I think having him in there automatically gives us the platform. I think he's probably one of the small handful of defenders in the league that opposition players actually don't enjoy going up against. And I think it's starting to borderline fear. I think it has to go to him. But plenty of other mentions as well.
I'd said, because everybody, the obvious choices would be Trossard and Zinchenko. But I asked for Saliba to be added to that list for those same reasons that you gave there. And I've said on many occasions, I think we've got the best centre-back pairing in the league right now. And also with Saliba, I would say that he's actually made Gabriel a better player. Because if you remember, previously, the knock on, we all accepted he was a very good player, but at times he could be quite rash. He's a defender that loves a tackle. He's quite aggressive in that way. But I think playing alongside Saliba's almost assumed the leadership role of those two guys. And I think that Gabriel's looking at the way he plays and is modifying his approach accordingly. So he's not as rash as he once was before. And I think that a lot of that's probably down to
That's an interesting point. Steve, thank you so much for calling. Sorry we were talking loads during your section, but you raised a really good debate, mate. So thank you for joining.